Hi, welcome to my YouTube. Now before I begin, I want to take this opportunity to talk about how the world has changed, how my life has changed. I'm in a group that are close to the group that are most susceptible to the COVID-19. So I'm trying to self-isolate. I don't go out unless it's absolutely necessary, and when I do, I wear a mask and gloves. When I'm out, I still practice social distancing, and I try not to touch my face. When I return, I wash or isolate the products I buy because I know many hands has handled them. I then do the same to my gloves and the clothing I wore. This is my new normal. My girlfriend said, look on the bright side, you got more time to do YouTube. So here I am. Now, in terms of accessories, how a couple of generations can make. This Skorpion, you would be hard pressed to find 5 accessories. While this Skorpion, you could spend $1,000 on this and spend equal amount on accessories from the muzzle brake to the stop and everything in between. So given that situation, one has to wonder what is left for a hack and mod kind of guy like me to do. Well, surprisingly, there are a few, and it would only cost you actually less than $1. So let's begin. Since starting this video a few days ago, I have come under the weather, so please bear with me. I am practicing self-isolation, and but I thought the best way to pass the time is to continue with the video. My first hack will be towards the stock. Now, I saw people were replacing this OEM stock with the Zukov Magpul stock. And I can see why, because although this is a nice looking stock, it has quite a few deficiencies. And one is that it does not have any place for a riser, whereas a Zukov has places for the riser. That's one. Number two, that Zukov have places for the sling, and the OEM does not. Number three, that the Zukov has 5 different positions, while this has only 3. So when you extend this, it goes further, and then when you retract this, it's a bit shorter. Another thing is the Zukov, when it's extended, and you can just fold it at any of the 5 positions, it will lock in place. Whereas this would only lock in place when it's completely retracted. If you were to extend this to the 2nd position or to the 3rd position, it will not lock. The only thing I would say that this has over the Zukov is that its trigger is a lot longer. The trigger lock is a lot longer than the Zukov, and that's why this does not operate as well as this. This really works well. This one, as you can see, I was struggling to extend and retract. So today I'm gonna show you how to put a riser on this, and it will be similar to the Zukov, so it's easy to remove and put back on when you need to. And also I will show you how to have this lock in place when it's extended.
It's been 11 days since I started this project, and during the whole time I've been sick with the cough and cold. Thank goodness it's the cough and cold and not COVID. I'm taking my temperature regularly. I don't have a fever and I don't have a dry cough, so that's a good thing. I've never been so happy to see wet cough before. So during the whole time, I've been trying to make a cheek rest out of ABS pipe. I've tried 3 or 4 of these, boil them in water and try to mold them into shape, and it just wouldn't work. So of course I just abandoned that idea using ABS. So I decided to use this white portable water pipe. Now I'm not sure exactly what it's called, so I'll let you viewers out there read these and let me know what they are. The inside diameter of this portable water pipe is 22 millimeters. This one is 3/4, and this is not the pipe I'm going to be using. 3/4 of an inch. I find it doesn't flex enough, but this one seems more perfect to what I'm looking for. So, using a graph paper as usual, I did the circumference of the outside. It's 91 millimeter, and the length I'm looking for is 133 millimeter in length. So I'll be using a cutter to cut the appropriate length. But first, I need to cut this this graph template out first, and then I'll put on the rifle to get a sense of where I want to cut my lines. So I'll be back. Okay, I cut out the graph paper. The first thing you do is extend this line. I use a red felt, and I went across this way. This is the top of the corner. Extend that line about another 1.5 inches, both sides. Then extend the stock to the first notch, and if you remember this graph paper, this is the quarter line, this is the half line. Line up the paper of the quarter line to this back here, right to the corner, right there to that corner, and out to this extended line. And use Scotch tape to hold it down like this. Make sure it's, yes, like so. Do the same for the other side. Yep, lines up in that corner and lines up with that. So I'm good. Scotch tape and tape it down. Okay. Next, oh, actually this looks like it has moved, so I need to peel it off again and make sure it's lined up properly. Yes, that's better. And the way you can tell is to make sure the center line is in the middle of the stalk. And it does look like it's in the middle of the stalk. Okay, next use your finger and you can feel this angle coming up, so you want to follow that, and you can actually feel it. I'll use a felt pen just to get a better showing. I'm going to hold this down. I'm going to, like that. You can see that right there. And let's see this one right here. Yep, like that. So this is the line I'm looking for, right there. Yep. Now I'll do the same for this side. Press it down. You can feel where this line's gonna be, and then you can just that, and it's the same thing apply to this one. Yep, like that. Okay, and the last thing you do is trace the front of this like that. Yep, like that. Do it on both sides. And you can actually feel the edge. At that angle right there. Slowly remove the template. Gentle. Now, you have to cut these pieces, and what you could do, you could just fold this in the center using the center line. Okay, let me see if I could fold this into the center line. And I could just cut it like that. And like so. And that looks pretty good. Like this. This is basically the base of your cheek rest. And how it's gonna sit on your rifle are these wings. They're gonna clip on to these, I guess deep in, that's where these wings are gonna go in. And it's gonna hold this in place, and then you're gonna screw on some riser on it. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I've taped the template on the pipe. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna use this cutter gonna sort of score around it. Okay, that's it. Now what I'm going to do next is hacksaw this piece off and this whole piece off, and I'll be back. This pipe is super easy to hacksaw. As you can see, it takes no time for me to cut a 4-inch section. Okay, I'm done with the base of the riser. I cut off that 1 centimeter of gap here. Alright, and I cleaned off the edges with a razor blade. I'll file it later, but I just want to show you how I attach this to the stock. So you just open this up and you just squeeze this in and it just snaps in place. It's that simple, like that. Now this is the base of the riser. Fits pretty good. Okay. Now this is fully extended and it snaps in when it's partially extended. Now what I'm going to do is make the actual riser piece on top. This is the base, and I take the same piece and I'll use this. See how easy is it to remove and put on? I'll get the same length, I'll cut the same length, and I'll use the cutter. Okay, I got the same length, and I'm going to use this as a guide of how high I want the riser to be. This adds on 1/8 of an inch, but I wanted another 1/2 inch on top of that, so I want a total of 5/8, and I then measure where I need to cut it. And as you can see, this line is where the base attaches to the bottom. So I need to cut here in this particular angle all the way down. So I need to remove this strip. I need to keep that strip, which is about 5/8 of the tube. This is where it's going to sit like this. I'm going to screw this on top. I'm going to give it a little bit of shape by angling the ends so it have a little bit of more shape to it. And then I'll sand it and spray paint it, screw it together, and I'll be back. So, is this riser perfect? It is not. There is a couple of deficiencies. The first one is that it only works when the folder is extended to the second and third position. It will not work when it's completely retracted. And the reason why is because this spot is where I need to clip this onto, and it's very simple to clip onto. You just basically push it in. Here it is. You just go like that and just basically, that's it right there, and then push it forward, And this is what it looks like. This is in the third position, completely extended. And you can also move to the second position without any problem. It looks pretty good, and it'll work well with my EVO, which is quite high, and I wanted to be higher because I wanted to surpass the front sight. There. The EVO is quite high, and I needed a riser for that. And I'm gonna, yeah, it's just perfect, and the EVO is high enough to go higher than the front sights. Okay. Now, that's the first deficiency, is that it will not work when the folder is retracted, completely retracted. The second deficiency is that when this is in place, you cannot lock the folder. And the reason why is because the magnet, because it's extended, the magnet now reaches this location and not the metal plate. And when it's fully extended, the magnet now reaches this position. But I have a solution for that. So after making this, I see why there's no vendors that make riser for this gun. It's because this folder, when it's completely folded, this side smack against the receiver. There's no gap, there's no room. You can't attach a riser to it. That is the reason why nobody make risers for this gun. And I found the only location I could attach a detachable riser, it's to this area. And unfortunately, it will not work when the folder is completely retracted. So, the second deficiency is how to make this folder lock. Okay, to get the folder to lock in place, it could only happen on the third position. Get one of these square stainless steel magnets. Put on the OEM magnet, like that. And make sure you push the rectangular magnet all the way to the back, as far as to the back you can. And then get yourself a two-sided tape. Make sure it's fresh, and cut yourself a small strip like that, and put it right on the magnet. Like that. Now, use a pair of scissors and cut along the edge of the magnet. Then get a felt pen and blacken actually, the edge of the double-sided tape, because you don't want that to show.
Okay, once you have darkened the double-sided tape, put it on, push it all the way to the back like I mentioned. Now you can remove the protective plastic tape. Make sure the riser is pushed all the way forward and the folder is extended, completely extended. Now you can fold this and watch where it sticks to. Okay. You can press it down a bit and then you use a screwdriver to make sure that it stays on the receiver and not be pulled off with the folder like that. And that looks pretty straight. Now you press it in, make sure it's completely pressed down on it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And see the reason why you blacken the double-sided tape so it doesn't look gawky. Okay, so now I want to finish using the riser, and I don't want to remove it, and all I want to do is fold it. It will stay in place. There you go. Now it's locked with the riser in place. So there you have it. This is how you hack a riser for your EVO 3 S1. Thank you for joining me, and please subscribe.